One of the key ingredients to being really, really good at a game like Fortnite is your editing ability. If you want to be able to give yourself more opportunities to take a shot while protecting yourself and stopping the opponent from taking a shot, then you need to work on your editing speed and your accuracy. And in this video today, I'm going to be running an experiment where over the course of 7 days, I'm running the same exact editing course over and over again to 1, improve my editing speed, 2, improve my cursor and my reticle management, and 3, improve my movement when it comes to editing. So by the end of this video, we'll know whether or not running the same editing courses over and over again will be valuable to you in your training, or if you need to look elsewhere in order to get better. Welcome to this video by Fortnite. My name is Spider, and this is going to be a super good episode. So before we jump into it, be sure to click subscribe if you're new to the channel. Drop a comment down below letting me know what you have done to improve your editing speed, what's worked best for you. And I also would love a recommendation as to what you want to see for the next video. So rule number 1. I had to spend at least 30 minutes each day running through the same edit course. And the reason for this was because this course had all of the different edits that you might run into in a regular game. When you are playing against actual players, these are the edits you need to be able to hit quickly. And so I found a course by CanDook's that allowed me to hit all of the basic editing patterns. And I figured if I can get good at just doing those edit patterns, it would improve my ability to utilize them in actual games. So that was rule number 1. I had to spend at least 30 minutes each day running through the same exact edit course. Rule number 2, after those 30 minutes, I could spend time working on specific edits or moves. So if there were things that I noticed I was tripping up on the most, if there were areas of the course that were holding me back, I could then spend a little bit of additional time after my 30 minutes going and practicing those specific moves and trying to practice them in context of getting them done just in regular creative and then using them in something like a Zone Wars or regular solo games. And then finally, rule number 3, in each session, I had to identify at least one thing that I could work on. There's no point practicing over and over again and making the same mistakes over and over again. And so I wanted to make sure I found something that I could actually pull out each time and identify as this could be improved, this could be done faster, this could be smoother, whatever the improvement needs to be, I had to find something. So with all of that said, let's jump into day number 1. So in day number 1, as you can probably see on the screen, everything just sort of felt awkward. Everything was sluggish and slow. My crosshair positioning and my movement overall was very inefficient. And in general, I didn't really know the course, right? I hadn't gone through it a bunch of times yet, so I didn't have the experience of what was going to come next and understanding how to sort of navigate everything in the best way possible. So that was one of the biggest drawbacks to day 1, but overall, everything was slow. My edits, I had to do them a few different times before they finally confirmed. I often ran into the build because I was trying to edit faster than I'm capable of. You can see in the video, I'm sort of like swinging my pickaxe. That's because I'm trying to get into edit mode and immediately select the tiles, but unfortunately, I'm not quite used to the editing distance yet. And so I'm hitting my edit key to get into edit mode, but it's not going into it, and therefore I'm swinging my pickaxe. In day number 2, one of the big things that jumped out at me was an issue that I had in day number 1, where I was trying to get into edit mode from too far away. So you can see in the video that I am often swinging my pickaxe instead of selecting tiles, and it's because I'm hitting the edit key just slightly too far away and I'm not going into edit mode. Therefore, I'm not actually being able to select tiles. I'm just swinging my pickaxe. So day number 2, still awkward. My movement was poor. I kept getting sort of stuck on builds and running into things, which slowed me down. I was editing from too far away, still didn't fully understand the distance that I could edit from, and I just still wasn't that familiar with the course itself. So in day number 3, I did something really interesting. I switched to confirm edit on release, and it did actually improve my speed by a lot. Things also felt a little bit less awkward in day number 3 because I was a little bit more familiar with the course. I was a little bit more familiar with each of the different edits that were popping up. I had better crosshair positioning throughout because I was now used to each of the edits types. I'd done them a bunch of times prior, and so I was able to actually utilize that past experience and use it in day number 3. My movement still wasn't great. I was still running into builds and not positioning myself well in relation to the builds to make sure that I didn't get sort of stuck on anything. That happened a bunch of times. And then after my session in day number 3, I decided to spend a little bit of time practicing my awkward ramp edits, because that was one area of this map that I noticed I was always getting stuck on. Right towards the end, you've got to edit up a 1x1 with floors and ramps above you, and I just wanted to get a little bit crisper and a little bit more smooth on those edits, so I decided I'm going to practice these awkward positioning ramp edits and see what comes out of it. Now in day number 4, I actually got a new mouse and a new keyboard, and so I switched around my keybinds a little bit to better suit the situation I was dealing with. I no longer had a mouse that had 3 buttons. I now had 2, and my keyboard was a lot more sensitive than my previous keyboard, and that actually led to it being a bit awkward in the beginning as I adjusted to those new keyboards. I will say though that I had better movement on day 4 than I had prior. My positioning to the builds and how I moved through them improved dramatically over the last 4 days, and I wasn't getting stuck on my edits as easily. I wasn't grabbing the edit too early or too late. I was always sort of positioned and give myself enough time to be able to move through the edit and actually get the edit done without stopping or having to back up or anything like that. Day number 5 felt so much better than the previous days. I was still fumbling from time to time, still screwing up the actual tile selections, but my distance from the actual pieces and just sort of inherently knowing whether or not I can get into edit mode from where I am has improved dramatically. Each of the different pieces of the course has improved dramatically through that sort of solo practice at the end of every session, and I was able to just sort of flow through everything a little bit better. Day number 5 was one of those days where you really start to see the benefits of the work that we've put in the last 5 days, and that really helped me to feel like this was going to be worth it. On day number 6, I did my 30 minutes. I also did a little bit of extra practice on my ramp wall double edits. And then I decided to do some games and some realistic with Alchemist. And mostly I just wanted to sort of test the results of my work. And one of the things that I noticed immediately was that my edits were a lot crisper than they had been previously. But more importantly, I was a little bit more confident in them. I was able to go for edits that opened up potential shot opportunities, things that I wouldn't have gone for in the past because I had done that edit so many times in this particular course. So that's one of the big takeaways of this 7 days. And then finally, day number 7, I went through my edit course, felt basically the same way I did in day 6. Things were a little bit smoother, things were less fumbly. I didn't feel like I was screwing up too much. Obviously, I'm still not editing at, let's say, like Mongrel's speed or anything like that. It's only been 7 days, and we've only spent about 30 minutes each day. So it's not a massive investment, but you can very clearly see from the video here that I have improved. I have actually seen a benefit from doing this edit course over and over again. And so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to let a little segment of the course play out here, and then we're going to jump into lessons learned. So as far as results go, over the last 7 days, when we compare my first time going through it, or my first time where I really knew what I was doing and understood the course, compared to my last time on day 7, it went from 4 minutes and 25 seconds the first time to complete the course down to 3 minutes and 18 seconds. So we're able to shave off 1 minute and 7 seconds from my time. Now, of course, that doesn't necessarily mean anything when it comes to real games, but the biggest lessons learned here, the biggest things that I want you to take away from this is that confidence matters. Being more confident in your editing, being more confident in your shots, being more confident in your choices in game allows you to make those choices and actually get them done. And when you make those choices, it gives you opportunities, things that would not have existed if you did not make that choice. One of the first things I noticed after going through this process was that I was going for edits that I wouldn't have gone for otherwise. And I always thought that I wouldn't go for it because I felt like I was going to screw it up. I was going to do it too slowly, and then I would miss my chance. I would miss that opportunity. And the truth is, oftentimes, if you can go for an edit fast enough, you can get a shot opportunity that would not have existed otherwise. You can get damage on a person that they can't even really understand where it's coming from. You're putting them in a blender simply because you're able to place a wall and edit it immediately, take the shot and reset it. Or you can do the Mongrel Classic, or place a cone in a floor, edit through both, take the shot and then reset it. Whatever you need to do. But without that confidence, you're not going to be able to get it done. And that's the biggest thing that going through this course over and over again has given me, is more confidence in the types of edits that we did in the course. So my recommendation after all of this, whether it's this course, which I've got the code for that course in the description of this video, or any course you want to, find an editing course and do it for 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever period of time you can dedicate each day. If you want to improve in this game, you have to improve at your editing, and by putting in the time to actually go through and get confident in your edits, you're actually going to see yourself improve as a player dramatically. So with all of that said, thank you so much for joining me on this journey. I want to hear from you though. So drop a comment down below. Let me know what you thought of this experiment. And if you have an idea for a future video, drop it in the comments below as well. Also, before you leave the channel, be sure to click subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the like button and click the little bell to make sure you never miss a future video. My name is Spider. Thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to you in the next one.